Yolan and I need to do 2 rappels to get to the ground from this summit. Most things I'll talk about on the nice ledge after this first rappel, but 2 things I do want to talk about right here because they're well illustrated in this spot. One is direction of pull with respect to bolts. If I load the system in a standing position, I'm pulling up and out on those bolts. They're much stronger if I can pull perpendicular to the way the shafts are driven into the rock. So as I go over the edge, I want to keep my weight really low. And then I'm going over a steep edge. And when you go over a steep edge, rappelling into overhanging terrain, people have a tendency to put their feet too low and face plant. And so I want to talk about body position going over that steep edge. Leaning back and trying to straighten my legs and keep my feet high as I go over the edge. Right here is where if I lower my feet, they're going to slip and I might face plant. So leaning straight back, pushing away from the rock. Watch as the rope sets on the edge. Right there, a lot of the swinging in potential is gone and I can lower my feet a bit into comfortable rappelling position. Yolan, when I say off rappel, you can come on down. Yolan! Off rappel! All right, come on over, let's get you tethered. Cool. Here we are at the midway anchor. I'm tethered with 2 shoulder slings. Notice opposite and opposed there. Yolan rocks a personal tether, which he's using. I built a quick cordelette anchor directly off the rings. Some people will go up to the bolt hangers. I just like to clip to the rings. I do not find that it gets in the way as I'm threading the rope for the next rappel, which I'll do here. I want to go ahead and put knots in both ends here. Will you tie a fisherman's knot in that end for me? I'll get this one. Just something that can't pass through your belay device, causing you to rappel off the end. And then we're going to demonstrate how to find the middle of the rope when it's not clearly marked. It's good to have the middle clearly marked or use a bi-pattern rope, but my middle mark has worn off, as often happens. And here's what you do in that case. You just feed out both ends at once, and you will end up at the middle. The main reason, incidentally, that I clip to the rings instead of the bolt hangers is the rope's less likely to be sawing across my cordelette, and an attentive partner, which Yolan certainly is, can help there by just kind of keeping the rope up off the cordelette as I pull it through. So I'm going to make a big hand coil, toss it, make another big hand coil, and that should get me to the middle. I'll toss that and we'll be ready. Rope! Okay, we've threaded the rope through the rings until we reach the middle, so we're confident that both ends are on the ground, and we tied knots in the ends just in case. I'm going to set up a pre-rigged rappel. One thing I can do first is stomp on the rope right there, so I have a nice bite of slack to work with. And now I can really easily set up my belay device. Clip both strands through there, lock it, and I'm going to put a third hand back up on the rope, tie an auto block. 4 wraps I find with this cord and this rope is just right. Always test a friction hitch. Cool, so I've got my third hand on there with an auto block, got my belay device properly set up. Now I need to give Yolan some slack so that he can get his belay device on the rope. There you go. For pre-rigged rappels, I like to extend the second person's belay device away from their body for comfort. This will make more sense in just a second. What I've used here is a basket hitch, just a shoulder sling basket hitched through his belay loop. If I wanted more distance, I could do a girth hitch on that same sling. Some people use their personal tether to clip their belay device 2. Okay, so he's on there, he's locked. I'm locked and backed up with my third hand, so we can get rid of our anchor and our tethers. Yolan, go ahead and stow your tether. Can you unclip that gold carabiner for me? Thanks. All right, so here's the reason why I extend the belay device on that second person. As I lean back, the rope wants to go straight, right, from me to the anchor. And this gives Yolan just a little more room to allow the rope to go straight while finding a position of comfort. So here I go, I'm gonna weight the system. Okay, it wants to pull you forward, so yeah, just take a step forward. Now the rope can be in that nice straight line. And you know what, Yolan, why don't you just come on down, weight the system, get in your rappelling position. And here's your classic pre-rigged rappel. This is a great way to take a friend who's a beginner and rappel off the top of something, leaving nothing to chance, right? You don't want to leave that person at the top after you've just showed them how to set up a rappel, go down and then hope they do it right. In this case, Yolan's a very experienced climber, but I'm demonstrating how I would do this for a client or an inexperienced friend. He's rigged, he's got his hands on the brakes. When I get down there and yell off rappel, all he's got to do is rappel, and I can be standing there giving him that fireman's belay where I can lock the system and stop him if I need to. So I'm just tending my third hand as I go, leaning back in that nice rappelling position. And Yolan, when I say off rappel, you can come on down. Off rappel.
When using the ATC to rappel, I want to make sure I have both hands on the brake. To stop myself from moving, I just pull straight down, keeping all of this in a straight line. If we want to lower, we're actually going to start by breaking this line right here, like that. See how it's an angle now? And allowing the rope to slide through slowly. If that makes you uncomfortable at first, you can always just shuffle your hands down like this.
So I'm giving Yolan a fireman's belay as he descends. I will always do this with beginners. I'll pre-rig their rappel and then give them that fireman's belay. With an experienced partner too, why not give them that backup? I backed myself up with the third hand, and now I can back up my partner with a fireman's belay. If I hear anything or see anything that looks out of control, I simply pull down, and that locks, that puts on the brakes for his ATC so he can't move. And then to give him control again, I'll just release the rope. All right, back to you. Last thing to remember before you go to pull your rope after you're done rappelling, take that stopper knot out of the end or it will lodge against the rappel rings, your rope will be stuck, and you'll have to do some problem solving. Take it out, make sure you get all the kinks out, even just a kink can get stuck. And then you can finish pulling. When you can see or feel that there's just a little bit of rope left to go through the rings, it's just about to cut loose. You want to give it a big jerk, give it some momentum to help that rope end clear any obstacles. And sometimes you need to physically move to one side or the other so that the angle of your pull makes the rope less likely to catch behind a flake or something like that. In this case, this is a great place to pull from, but I'm going to give it a good hard jerk to give it some momentum. I'm also going to let the people know, if there's anybody standing around me, that there's going to be a rope end whipping down in just a moment. Rope coming down.